Hey there, my friends. Let's talk about networking. Not the awkward, soul sucking business card swapping kind where everyone is secretly wondering, so what can you do for me? Or those virtual Zooms where someone is reading their entire resume and you are secretly multitasking, pretending to be listening. Ask me how I know. I'm guilty of that. I'm talking about real networking, the kind that actually builds relationships, opens doors, creates referrals, and grows your business long after the Zoom room closes or the event has ended. Because here's the truth: transactional networking drains you. Relational networking compounds into real business growth. And once you understand the difference, everything about how you show up changes. Because here's the thing: networking can feel as daunting to some people as sales does. I'd love to know how you feel about networking. Tell me in the comments. For me, I'm a talker. As you can tell, I'm a people person. I love meeting people and hearing their stories. So, networking has been something I've been doing since I was little. I had talks too much in class on my report card my entire life. Well, guess what, teachers? I was networking. I do realize, though, that much like sales, people would rather have a root canal than do networking. So, how do we push past this feeling? Get ourselves into virtual networking rooms, having conversations that feel really good and that lead to business growth. We use the RELATE framework, RELATE, relate. Now, listen, before you go thinking I am some kind of a genius, I cannot take credit for this acronym. My very cheap assistant, ChatGPT, came up with that. I use AI to spitball all of my ideas, throwing all my ideas into it, helping me organize my thoughts. I told it everything I wanted to share with you today about networking, and it came up with the Relate framework. I think that's very fun. And if you want to come at me for using AI in my work, go ahead, bring it. I'm a big girl. But let's dive into the Relate framework, RELATE. This is the framework for networking that grows your business. The letter R, we're going to redefine what networking really is. Networking is not about collecting contacts. It's not about collecting business cards. And it's definitely not about walking into a room, tossing your business cards into the air out like confetti. Absolutely not. It's about building connections. You are a warm, kind human being talking to another warm, kind human being, having a human being conversation, finding common ground, and getting to know each other. And most entrepreneurs hate networking because they think they have to focus on sales or on money, and they're thinking about a transaction and not the human in front of them. They lead with that transactional thinking of, how can I get this person to buy from me? Or how can this person help me? And the true focus in networking needs to be relational, thinking about how you can genuinely get to know and support the person you're meeting. Relationships are assets that compound over time. What do I mean by that? Making connections and building a relationship with someone, we never ever know where that connection might lead. Could they possibly be your next client? Could they possibly want to collaborate with you? Could they possibly refer you to your next great client or collaboration? Maybe, maybe not. But that's where networking to me is exciting. The next person you and I meet could end up blowing our businesses wide open because we took the time to get to know them, care about them, and ask how we can serve them. Now, the next on the hit parade is the letter E, expose transactional versus relational networking. Now, networking can either drain us or energize us. We've talked about that for just a little bit. It can either suck the life out of us or get us so energized and riled up that we feel like we could run through a wall. And the key here is transactional networking versus relational networking. And I touched on that a second ago. Transactional networking looks like pitching people all the time, pitching too early, treating people like a lead instead of a human, measuring success by how many calls you booked or how many business cards you picked up, and disappearing after someone says no, because that's all they are to you, is a transaction, is a prospect. Relational networking looks like being curious first, caring enough to get to know the other person, conversations that do not have an agenda, asking the other person about themselves. Where are they from? How did they decide they wanted to build a business? How did they decide on the kind of work they wanted to do? And long-term trust building. Trust is built when we show others how much we care about them, and we want to know them and we want to help them. And staying connected without any pressure, letting the other person know that you'll keep them in mind. All right, next up, the letter L, lead with value and a giver's gain mindset. The fastest way to build influence is to give before you ask. Now, what do I mean by that? What does give first mean in practice? It means that I'm asking the other person how I can support them before they ask me how they can support me. You want to add value without overgiving. And this looks like offering to make a connection for the other person, giving them a few names of people or resources that they might benefit from. Making introductions. I love connecting people together. So when someone says, for example, that they're struggling with Kajabi, I'm going to offer to connect them with my friend Shannon. If somebody says they're struggling with Go High Level, I'm going to offer to connect them with my friend Carrie. If someone's having trouble figuring out their branding and they need a new website, I'm going to offer to connect them with my friend Maria. And if somebody wants to know about great places to network, I'm going to recommend some. A few of my favorites right now are the Entrepreneurista League and the Prosper Network. And I have affiliate links for both in the description notes here on YouTube. And I also recommend that they come join my free Facebook group. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible, Grow Your Email List and Your Income, because I do free monthly networking sessions just for the members. I got the link in the show notes for you as well on that too. And sometimes you make a connection, and the only thing you can do is be a listening ear and an encourager. And that goes a long, long way. Think about a time when someone you didn't know very well took the time to pour into you and encourage you. Didn't that feel great? And generosity, it's the ultimate visibility and credibility tool. Leading with unbridled generosity will have you remembered and trusted for a very long time. All right, the A in relate. Approach the networking event with intention. Great networking starts before the event begins. I want you to think about how you want to show up. What are you going to say for your elevator pitch? Who do you think you might meet, and how can you help them? Set a simple intention of giving, not taking. Choosing true connection with fewer people rather than shallow connection with many, many people. Introducing yourself in a way that's normal and human rather than pitchy and braggadocious. And show up as your warm, kind human self rather than a flat transactional business card. In virtual networking, here's a pro tip. I want you to change your name on Zoom in your Zoom window to include what you help people with. So when we're in a Zoom room together doing virtual networking, you'll see that my Zoom name says Tracy Beavers - Visibility and List Growth Strategist. That way, if you and I never end up in a breakout session together, you still know exactly who I am and who I serve and how. All right, letter T, take smart action after the event. You want to make a plan to follow up with the people that you met. Otherwise, you've wasted your time attending the networking event. The follow-up is where most of the value is created and given. And most people drop the ball after networking because they don't have a plan. A very easy thing to do is to send a personal follow-up message. When I'm on a virtual networking call and people are dropping their social media link into the chat, I am clicking on those links and opening up that tab on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or whatever they've given me. Because after the meeting, I can very easily pop over to those tabs and send them a DM really fast that says, hey, great to see you in the XYZ networking event. Did you make some great connections? That way, they'll reply back and we'll have an extended conversation. Set some coffee chats with the people you feel you could potentially collaborate with. Each of you gaining visibility and list growth through the other's audience. Coffee chats give you a great way to deepen that connection you made. Now, our final letter is the letter E. Expand the relationship over time. Consistency turns one conversation into multiple opportunities. You want to stay visible to your connections without being pushy. Again, we are being our warm, kind human selves, meeting with other warm, kind humans without focusing on the transaction, focusing on the relationships. Shout out those people that you met that day on social media and tag them. People love to be remembered. It's really fun. Offer to share the other person's event they have coming up or a cool offer they have, and then go back and ask them, how did the event go? And over time, you will make long-term relationships, and this will quietly turn into business growth for you through more clients, more collaborations, and more referrals. All right, as I wrap this up, I want you to consider that networking done right is not a one-time transaction. It's not a one-time activity. It is a long game strategy that builds trust, visibility, credibility, and opportunity. And if you show up curious, generous, and consistent, the business growth takes care of itself. I'd love to know how you feel about this discussion. Are you ready to go make some connections to grow your business? Pop that into the comments and let me know. And if you want help opening up conversations in the DMs after a networking event in ways that feel human and authentic, go grab my free training. It's all about DM conversations that convert. It's tracybeavers.com/DM. And I've also got that in the show notes for you. You hear me say this every single week, my friend. Don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody can remember your name. And if you feel like you're alone in that, you are absolutely not. It is so vital to get into a community of support, people that have your back and care about you and your business growth and can relate to what you're going through. Come join my free Facebook group for that reason. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur. Get visible, grow your email list and your income, and I will look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, I want you to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And remember that when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on.